Hello, my loves. I am hoping that you can see and hear me well because Facebook decided not to let me go live. So, anyways, hopefully you can hear and see me now. Thank you for joining me. And before we talk about hormone imbalances today, I recommend that you get a pen and a piece of paper because you might want to take some notes. And if you like what I have to say and you want to know more, I will post a link in the chat where you can contact me for a free 30-minute talk where I can explain some more about hormone imbalances and how they might be affecting you. So as a reminder, my name is Casandra MacAlan, and you are joining me today on Free the Wisdom to Heal the Body. And my business is supporting women and men who are ready to maximize their mental, emotional, and physical healing so that they can transform their lives from pain and limitation to lasting freedom and thriving health. And today's topic is hormonal imbalances. So this particular live is really for women. I am not familiar with the hormonal imbalances that affect men, although I will say that we all have the same 8 types of hormones that affect our health. And those are estrogen, which comes in 3 forms: estrone, estradiol, and estriol; progesterone, testosterone, insulin, cortisol, growth hormone, adrenaline, and thyroid. And today we're going to talk about estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and specifically how you can tell if you have not enough or too much. And that will let you know what kind of treatments you can seek. And while I am not a certified hormone therapist, I have been my own patient now for 15 years in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And I'm happy to describe what that is and also how to receive help, whether you want to go the Western route or the more homeopathic route or the naturopathic route or the herbal route. So there's a lot of ways that you can help your body if you are struggling with a hormone imbalance. And as you might already know, these are primarily affecting women that are entering into what we call perimenopause. And perimenopause is that period of time that exists when a woman's body starts hormonally changing and they start noticing a lot of different symptoms. And then we're going to talk about those. And you also, if you do some Google research, might find out that perimenopause can last anywhere from a couple of years to, like in my case, for 15 years, because menopause itself actually means that you have had no menstruation for 1 year. So if you're a woman in your late 30s or early 40s or beyond, or if you happen to know that whether or not your mother had a long period of perimenopause, it is very genetic. We tend to have the same sort of perimenopause symptoms that our mothers did. However, if you're around my age, I'll be 55 this month, my mother had her uterus removed when she was very young, which is something they used to do a lot of. So she had no way to kind of tell me what to expect. So I had to do a lot of research on my own, and that's what I'm here to share with you. So we're going to start off with estrogen. Here are symptoms of not enough estrogen: hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, insomnia, daytime fatigue or low energy, foggy thinking, memory issues, heart palpitations, headaches, low mood or motivation, low self-image, lack of joy, low or absent sex drive, weakened bones or osteoporosis, or if you are younger, fertility issues. So those are signs of insufficient estrogen. Now, how do you know if you have too much estrogen? Those symptoms are tender or swollen breasts, water retention, feeling edgy or anxious, weight gain, especially in the hips or thighs, bleeding or spotting, and an increase of migraines, especially if you are prone to them. So now I'm going to move to progesterone. So here are some symptoms of insufficient progesterone in your body: irritability, anxiety, troublesome PMS symptoms, spotting prior to your period, a heavy or irregular period, also water retention, tender breasts, and premenstrual headaches or migraines. And here's signs of too much progesterone: dizziness, daytime sleepiness or sluggishness, increased hunger with weight gain, acne outbreaks, depression, decreased motivation, full or heavy breasts or tender nipples. And lastly, we're going to talk about testosterone. And just like men have estrogen, women have testosterone. So symptoms of insufficient testosterone would be poor sexual response, poor or absent orgasms, low confidence or a lack of assertiveness, poor muscle tone and strength, low stamina, poor balance, dry eyes. And too much testosterone could show in oily skin or facial acne, aggressiveness or feeling like excessively bossy, excessive body or facial hair. However, loss of hair on your head, and an excessive sex drive. So those are examples of excess estrogen, insufficient estrogen, excess progesterone, insufficient progesterone, and excess testosterone and insufficient testosterone. So let me go to the questions and see if anyone has any for me today. Oh, good. Randall said he could see and hear me. Great. So I imagine that some people might have disengaged because it took me a little while to get on today, and I'm sorry about that. I had to restart my entire computer system for some reason. It was working on Zoom, but not on Facebook. So I'm sorry about that. But if you get this now or later and you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Like I said, I am not a hormone specialist, but I have been working with hormonal imbalance for 15 years now, and I have supported a number of women in finding healthier alternatives to the standardized Western options for hormonal care. And they differ a lot depending on what route you want to take. So if you are struggling with some of the symptoms that I mentioned, then I will put a link in the chat and you can contact me. And like I said, it's free. We'll chat. You can let me know what you're working with and what's been bothering you. And I will give you some suggestions based on what kind of route that you want to take. And so I am going to paste a link here where you can contact me. And I got a question from Karma. If you find you have a hormone imbalance, is there a way to fix it that is not through drugs? Yes, absolutely. In fact, Emily asked, what are bioidentical hormones? So bioidentical hormones are hormones that are not made from things like Premarin. You might have heard of Premarin, and it actually is a shortened term which stands for pregnant mare's urine. And they actually keep mares pregnant and use their urine in Western medicine to make hormone replacement therapy called Premarin. So unfortunately, there is not a lot of research on hormone imbalances in women, which is kind of bizarre if you think about it, considering we're over half the population and we've been around and had hormone imbalances for quite some time. In fact, I had a doctor tell me once that the number one cure for hormone imbalances was Prozac. So that tells you a little bit about westernized medicine and some of the patriarchal thinking. There is not a lot of studies done on hormone imbalances in women because they will tell you that it's hard to track because hormones, they fluctuate. So there are a lot of naturopathic options. And naturopathy, for those who are unfamiliar, is a offshoot of kind of a westernized medical view where you are dealing with things that are more natural to the body. So bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is using natural things like wild yam and things like that to make adjustments for hormones and things that your body is able to absorb and use more effectively. And they also don't come from things like horse urine. The other addition for bioidentical hormone replacement therapy that is very beneficial is the fact that it has a lower link to things like cancer and heart disease, which unfortunately hormone therapy westernized still has a lot of links to that. And nothing is 100% safe. Your water's not 100% safe, right? But there are things that can be incredibly helpful if used correctly and used safely. And those are things that are closer and more natural to your body. So in the case of other alternatives, homeopathy is an alternative to other forms of therapy and can be used for signs of excess estrogen. So if you are struggling with things like hot flashes and night sweats, there are little vials of homeopathy that you can get. Let's see if I've got one on me here. They are about yay big and they have little beads inside and it's all natural. There's no contraindications. In other words, there's nothing in homeopathy that would negatively affect or not affect any medicines that you're currently taking. In other words, they're not going to cause any additional issues that you might suffer with or negatively impact any pharmaceuticals that you're taking right now. They're very affordable and very simple to use. However, they are for really specific things like hot flashes, and so if you have other symptoms, they're not as effective. There are herbal things you can use. There are creams and lotions that you can pick up at your local health food store. But what you really want to know before you go trying things is whether or not you're excessive or deficient in something, which is why I wanted to share with you today the signs of excess and deficiency in those top 3 hormones that are going to affect women, especially going through perimenopause. There are also other forms of bioidentical ways that you can receive them. So for instance, some are delivered through a tincture. So you just drop a little bit in like an eyedropper and you put it at the base of your tongue. Some are used through creams or lotions, which you would use on the inside of your forearm, on the inside of your underarm, around the neck or inner thighs. There are things that you can use in capsule forms that you can place directly inside the vagina if you perhaps are excessively dry or the lining has thinned. And there are capsules that can be taken, and little tablets that you can suck on. So there's tons of ways that you can take hormone therapy that would work around whatever your preference is. I personally take a tincture for progesterone, a tincture for testosterone, and a capsule internally, and a cream externally. So there's a lot of different choices that you have. So I hope that you share this video with any woman you know in your life. And if you're a man who's joining me today, thank you for joining. And I hope that you share me with someone and that maybe this information can help them either find someone locally, a hormone replacement therapist, or, see an RN or go talk to their doctor. But you don't have to struggle with this, okay? You don't have to be freaking miserable. You don't have to lay towels on in your bed before you go to bed at night because you're going to soak through your clothes. Like, this is not okay, and this is not how we should be feeling. So there is help out there. And if you have further questions and you want to talk to me about your particular situation, I'm happy to give you the wealth of knowledge that I have and see if I can help you make it better. Okay. It has been a joy to talk to you today, and I again apologize for being late. Feel free to click on the link in the chat if you want to find out more. And if you see this later, and you have questions, feel free to write them in the comments. Oh, and if you want a copy of what I was sharing with you, I've got a little printout. If you schedule with me on Calendly, I will send you a copy of that printout. So if you didn't have a chance to write it down quickly enough, you will have a copy to be able to check with your own body and with whoever you want to work with. All right. As always, take care of yourself for me, and I love you all, and I'll see you next Monday. Okay.